Hey, what's up? This is just going to be a quick video to draw people's attention to some other channels that are putting out work related to the Flat Earth and Flat Earth debunks that, if you haven't already found them, they're well worth checking out for various different reasons. There's actually quite a lot of channels putting out a lot of good material these days, and it's getting difficult to keep track of everybody, and some people I think are maybe falling by the wayside a little bit and could be doing with a bit more attention. Some people have really managed to kind of burst on to the scene, so to speak, and pick up a lot of attention in a very short space of time, whereas there are many other people who are either putting out a lot more good work in a shorter period of time, or they've maybe been kicking about for a long time and only put out some good stuff occasionally, and again maybe falling by the wayside when they really deserve a lot more attention. So I'm just going to quickly snap through each one of these, let you know who we're talking about, and then you can check out the description. All the links are there. Please do go and check out these guys and check out their work. Okay, so the first channel I want to draw your attention to is Jamie Heth. He has been very busy over the last few weeks. He does on average a couple of videos in a day sometimes, so he's got a lot of stuff in recent times, and he's kind of covering all the more recent stuff that you're probably familiar with that's been happening lately. The kind of debunks that have been getting put out there and denied by Flat Earth, such as the analysis of mountain peaks and stuff like that. Previously, Miles Davis, Triprane Law, the stuff that's happening with Dell's, denial and the cheating from Rory, my perspective, all that kind of stuff in the last few weeks. So there's a lot of things on there, and it's a mix of just pointing out the falsehoods that are going on with some people's videos, drawing attention to other information that helps to debunk Flat Earth, and he does some 3D modelling and SketchUp and stuff like that. So a little mix of stuff, but he's always quite quick and to the point, and he does great videos that just very quickly show a problem, and in a lot of cases just explain why the Flat Earth side of things is just completely wrong. So he does good stuff, so go and check him out. Okay, so the next channel is Tommy Gronvold. Now, at the moment he, I think, is not really being seen by a lot of people, but in the last couple of weeks he's really been putting out a lot of good stuff. He primarily is dealing with 3D modelling and SketchUp, and he's very good at it, and he's got a lot of really good examples in here describing the geometry of situations and so on. He's got excellent stuff. He also has recently done a debate with flattening atheism and some other recent debunks, so I'm sure as time goes on there'll be more of a mix of stuff on Tommy's channel, but just head over, check out his stuff, I'm sure you'll be impressed. Okay, so next we've got I Can Science That. This is a very small channel, and he doesn't have a lot of videos. If you look at the overall video library, you're not going to see a lot of videos coming out of this channel if you subscribe. But the thing about I Can Science That is he really knows his stuff, and when he chooses to do a video, he'll go into some detail and explain things very well. Very analytical look at things, but a good way of explaining, I would say. So, something worth checking out if you're interested in some of the topics he's got covering here. As you can see, back a few months ago, he originally did do analysis of my Ailsa Craig observations, which were good. But more recently, he did this great video concerning Aries failure, Michelson-Morley, etc., which, as we all know, the Flat Earthers like to misrepresent them all the time. So yeah, a good guy, knows his stuff, worth checking out some of his videos, and occasionally when he does an upload, I'm sure you'll find it interesting if you're more interested in the science or the math or whatever behind something. Okay, so the next channel we've got Mathias Kp. Now, especially if you're some of the people that have kind of relatively recently come into the Flat Earth thing, maybe you've come in through people like Simon Dan, you might not be aware of Mathias, and his subscriber numbers are just criminally low. This guy does amazing work, But again, he's one of these people that he doesn't put a video out all the time. It's occasionally, but when he does do something, he does it very, very well. Now, out of his entire video catalogue, the thing that most people do know Mathias for is this video here, which as you can see is 2 years old now, and it's an observation of the turning torso building, and it's an excellent example of obstruction due to the curvature of the Earth. Of course, despite amazing observations like this, flat earthers, they just ignore things and make up excuses, but he's got great stuff revolving around observations of this building, as well as other, good observations over water and so on. But he does various other things, and he really does go into some detail in a lot of his observations. He's got a great way of presenting all his information on screen and so on. I would highly recommend that you go over and check out his channel. He's got some of these observations here. He's using a theodolite, and again, supplies a lot of data to go along with these observations. And really, I can't understand why Mathias has so few subscribers considering the quality of his work. So again, if you're unfamiliar with Mathias and you haven't checked out his channel yet, please do that. His stuff is fantastic. As I say, it doesn't come out that often like some other people do, but really good stuff when he does. Alright, so now we have Bobby Shafto. Now you may have seen this water level test that he's recently done cropping up in, for example, Bob the Science Guy's videos and maybe other places as well. Now again, at the moment a relatively quiet channel, both in terms of subscribers and in terms of overall video output, but what he has done very, very well. Now, I understand that Bobby isn't the kind of person who's really concerned with gaining subscribers on YouTube, but again, what this comes down to is, I think if you're the kind of person that subscribes to someone like me, you're going to be interested in someone who does this kind of quality of observation, and assuming he continues to do these kind of things every now and again, definitely well worth subscribing to him. And if you're not interested in subscribing to him for whatever reason, but you haven't seen his water level tests and so on, you should go and check those videos out anyway. They're fantastic. So definitely check Bobby's channel out. Alright, so now we've got Rory. Now, I've only just recently learned about Rory's channel myself, but he is another one who, a bit like Jamie Heth, is able to put out a lot of information in a short space of time. He's doing a couple of videos a day. His information is good. He's got a really nice, pleasant style of presenting his information. Seems to be pretty clued up on all this stuff, actually. He knows his way around Flat Earth, that's for sure. So, I can't go into too much detail about all the content on his channel because I've got to try and watch some of it myself, but what I've seen has been excellent, so go and check him out. Alright, so now we're on to Mike the Globetard. Now you may be able to guess by the channel banner here what's going on with Mike. Mike is somebody who lives in the same sort of area as Soundly, and basically came across the FE stuff and saw that flat earthers were denying the curvature of Lake Pontchartrain and so on. Decided to get his camera at somewhere he lives and works, and go and take photographs themselves, and lo and behold, he gets the same results as Soundly. And he's actually out just now with Soundly doing live streams from Lake Pontchartrain, as it happens. If you're unaware of that at all, there's a group of them out there doing a couple of days over at Lake Pontchartrain. Soundly's met up with Mike and Jesse Kozlowski and so on, just to do a series of observations at the bridge, and they're constantly live streaming when they get the chance, so you can see everything as it's being done. But Mike's a good guy, got a good sense of humour, again knows his way around this stuff, and good photographer and so on. So he's recently really just started doing the YouTube thing, but he's a good photographer and he's got some good stuff already, especially this ISS transit's a really nice little video. So again, another guy definitely worth adding to your list, who I'm sure over time you'll get some good stuff to see. Alright, so here we have Wade's Underworld. Alright, so with Wade, it's really been the last few months that he's been putting some stuff out. He doesn't put videos out all the time, but again, he's another one of these guys. When he does do a video, it's well worth a watch. He does some great content. It's a mix of observations. Does some stuff related to the Himawari 8, and one of these videos I would definitely, advise you go and check out is his top 10 reasons for knowing it's a globe. That's a great video, and this comparison with Himawari 8 and his local weather patterns is an excellent one as well. But as I say, just a good guy, good sense of humour, does some good stuff, and overall, over time, you'll get a good collection of stuff to see on his channel, so go and check him out. Alright, next we've got Where's Wally. Primarily, Wally has a lot of footage from the ISS on his channel, but he does have some other little pieces in between that are worth looking for, little tests and experiments and so on. So recently he did this excellent cold moonlight test to test this silly claim that flat earthers make that the moon gives off a cold light. That he's approached it was fantastic, so that's something well worth checking out. And what he does when he is debunking, what he does do, he does very well, so well worth checking out what he's done. Alright, this guy, roohif, great guy. Some of you may know roohif already because he used to spend his time going on to the Flat Earth debate show with Nathan Oakley and Anthony Riley. But putting that aside, roohif is another one of these guys. He doesn't do videos all the time, but what he does do, he does exceptionally well. He's got a fantastic flair for analysis. He really knows his stuff, and he's got a great presentation style. Again, another one of these guys who's got a really good way of getting fairly complex information across in a short space of time and in a way that's easy to understand. So if you like these kind of people who can debunk stuff in a more critical way, then definitely go and check him out if you haven't found roohif already. Alright, so now we've got Critical Think. Now, Critical Think is probably a bit better known than some of the other guys I've just been talking about at the moment, just because various, associations with other channels and stuff like that. But again, he's a guy, he does a lot of analysis of other people's videos, but he also does a lot of observation. He does a lot of stuff over at Byron Bay, Ships Over the Horizon, things of that nature, and he's got a lot of good stuff on his channel. So, a good sense of humour, just a kind of guy who doesn't take things too seriously, but still he does know his way around the topic and does some good debunking. So go and check him out. Okay, MCToon is a strange one in that, for me personally, it's one of these channels that never really got suggested to me. And when I think about, how long I've been on YouTube doing this stuff now, I'm really surprised at that. So it might be the case for other people who are watching this that the same thing applies. Now the thing is, MCToon isn't somebody who makes a lot of videos, as you can see, but when he does something, he does it well. So I think, just one of these guys worth having on your list for those occasions when he does decide to put something out there. Okay, next I want to draw your attention to Olivier Joseph. Now, he's another one who just sort of randomly cropped up for me, and again, it might be the case with some of the guys that are subscribed to me that maybe you haven't seen his channel yet. Now, if you look through his stuff, there is quite a mix. But he does do a lot of work related to flat earth debunking, but a lot of his stuff is in his native language, so not all of his videos are going to be watchable for everybody, but he does take the time to do some of his videos in English as well for us heathens. So check him out for the ones that you can watch, but more particularly, if you haven't seen it already, he's done some recent videos called How I Destroyed Flat Earth. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it, but he has just some excellent observations in there, so go and check out Olivier. Right, now we're on to Bob the Science Guy. Now I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Bob by this point. He's only been putting videos out for a very short time, but has amassed a lot of followers, and it's well deserved. He does a lot of good stuff. Now, I did recently mirror one of Bob's videos myself, and it's really only been a short space of time that he's been putting stuff out, as I said, but he's putting out a lot of good quality content in a relatively short space of time, despite the fairly fast turnaround. His videos are always really well put together. He's got a lot of good information in there, and he knows his way around the topics. So, again, if this is somebody you haven't discovered yet for some reason, go and check him out. Definitely, he's one of the better people, I would say, to have on your list. And his subscriber count has really kind of rocketed in the space of a very, just like a couple of weeks or whatever. So quite impressive, and obviously there's a good reason for that. Right, so back to the Southern Hemisphere for a minute, and we're looking at Planarwalk. Now, Planarwalk is another one of these guys. He's been doing stuff for a while, and again, maybe hasn't popped up on your radar, same as what he was with me. He'd been doing stuff for quite a while, and never once did YouTube suggest his videos to me. Kind of got to his videos through a bit of a strangled route myself, but the point being anyway, he does a lot of flat earth debunks. He does some sort of regular, semi-regular thing where he does flat earth news. Now, he doesn't just do flat earth debunks, he actually does cover some other topics as well, which might, say, put you in mind of somebody like Sir Sick, and who'll cover some of the other general sort of nonsense or conspiracies that are out there. He tends to do stuff with a little bit more of a sense of humour rather than being too dry about stuff, so that might appeal to some people a bit better. Recently you may have seen him cropping up or being mentioned in some other people's videos, like Conspiracy Cats and so on. There's been a bit of collaboration going on lately between these guys, so you may have already heard of him. But yeah, if you haven't, just check him out. Again, he's got a lot of stuff there, and I'm sure you'll probably find something that you'll like. Alright, so finally we've got the Creaky Blinder. Creaky's not so much on the debunk side as on the take the piss side, and I think especially if you prefer videos by people like Conspiracy Cats and maybe Simon Dan and stuff like that, you'll see a sort of similar style, the way he does his stuff. And he does, as you can see here in his banner, the Flat Hard Friday and stuff like that. So he's not got too much going on his channel, really. You can see there, oldest video is 2 months ago. But he's, picking up some popularity pretty quickly. And again, if you're just looking for something that's a bit more, if you're just looking for something that's a bit less demanding on the old brain, take a break from the more analytical stuff and just have a bit of fun with the flat earth stuff, go and check Creaky out. He's a good guy. Okay, chaps and chapesses, hopefully at least some of those channels will be of interest to some of you if you haven't already discovered them. And if they are new to you, go and check them out and hopefully have a bit of fun and maybe learn something. Cheers.